Yeah, I'm sure it's always been this way. It's on 53rd, what you talking about?
On the street, it's a thrill when you catch a glimpse of Garbo. Sutton Place, Murray Hill, a momentary glimpse of Garbo. Just the other day, I was shopping in Kips Bay when an older woman caught my eye, then moved out of the way. She wore glasses dark and round, and she never made a sound, but I felt I had somehow been enchanted. Then she was gone, and I realized I'd been granted my very own glimpse of Garbo.
You caught a glimpse of Garbo.
Central Park, Herald Square, you might get your glimpse of Garbo. If you did, won't you share the details from your glimpse of Garbo?
I was measuring a hem, the lady just took off her dress when a man ran through the door with a look of great distress. I just saw her, she's right there, the antique shop down the street. This could be your only chance, you better take it. I left my customer just standing there half naked, so I could catch sight of Garbo.
Well, did you catch sight of Garbo?
Nah, by the time I got there, she had disappeared. Still, I found myself immeasurably cheered because I almost caught a glimpse of Garbo. So anyway, I saw her and
Grand Hotel will premiere, another sure success for Garbo. But the star isn't here, she's acting more or less like Garbo.
How can she not be here at her very own world premiere? As the studio head, it makes me look the fool. You do what Louis B. Mayer says, that's the golden rule. Without me, you think she would have come this far? I'm the one that made her a star. That's why the public acts so bizarre. They need their glimpse of Garbo.
Just a glimpse, we need a glimpse.
Still, I would have to say this is quite a flick. It's her best one yet, if I had to pick.
We want lots more Garbo.
You hear them pleading, so what am I gonna do? Send her back to Sweden.
Look, there's Lionel Barrymore at the wrap that Bigford has on. Whom would you rather marry more, him or his brother John?
Yes, it brings us lots of joy to stand and stare at Menaloy.
The Garbo's missing, the hour draws nearer. I see Clark Gable and Norma Shearer, but only Garbo can grant our wish. Our apologies to Dorothy and Lily and Gish.
Without
Straight there's Lionel Barrymore. Catch a glimpse, check out the round the Bigford has placed Marie. Gerard, is every glimpse of Garbo. Or his brother need a glimpse.
Still, I would have to say this is quite a flick. It's her best one yet, if I had to pick. You want lots more Garbo, you hear them pleading. So what am I gonna do? Send her back to Sweden.
Just a second, isn't that her?
Did she finally appear?
Yeah, right there with her chauffeur.
Hey, Miss Garbo, over here!
I want to be alone. Why can't I just be alone?
Well, that was it. We got our glimpse of Garbo. The film's a hit. A single glimpse of Garbo. And oh, we got what we were waiting for. A glimpse of Garbo leaves us wanting more and more. A glimpse of Garbo leaves us wanting more.
Tell me the truth about Grand Hotel.
You're not going to like it.
Be brutal.
Was I any good?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
You were marvelous.
No, I wasn't.
See, I knew you wouldn't like it.
Because I don't believe you.
You know, I never lied to you about your performances. You were aggressive and ungraceful in Flesh and the Devil, and positively whorish in The Temptress.
Mimi, you're my dearest friend, and as our instructors at drama school constantly reminded us, the better actress. Your opinion is the only one that matters to me.
Oh, I think your opinion of yourself rates a little higher than mine.
Don't tease me, I'm serious.
I am too. You were exquisite, and you'll never be satisfied.
You have no idea how good it feels to be home again after, I can't even remember how long.
7 years, 3 months, and 4 days.
Is it really?
I don't know. Do you think I've been counting?
Anyway, it's not just good to be home again. It's good to be here with you. Alone.
We gave those reporters quite a run this morning. I had no idea there were so many photographers in Stockholm. Do they chase you like this in America?
Oh, it's much worse over there. The Americans feel entitled to intimacy whether they know you or not. They call you by your first name, they paw you, they maul you. A ripped piece of your scarf becomes a sacred object.
Why doesn't the studio protect you?
The studio? I think Louis V. May himself calls the reporters to tell them where Garbo's going to be next.
You can't really blame them. They just want to know you.
They don't want to know me. They want to know Garbo, who doesn't even exist. You made up the name.
The Americans will never go in to get their mouths around Gustafsson.
Yes. Well, sometimes I think if I can't just be Greta Gustafsson, I'd just as leave be, I don't know. Harriet Brown. Who? Harriet Brown. An ordinary citizen going about her ordinary life. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's too late for that. For better or worse, you're Garbo now with all the trappings.
Yes. Well, Garbo would be a lot happier if she could just be Greta. I can hardly explain it, but for your sake I'll try. There's this woman called Garbo, and she's far more intriguing than I. She's a world-renowned actress. She has glamour and fame. And here's the part that just kills me. People think that we're one and the same. Garbo and me, what an unlikely pairing. Garbo has such impeccable style, while I hardly know what I'm wearing. I hear people describe her like some legend who lived long ago. I don't know who they're talking about, but she's somebody I barely know. Garbo and me, it's like having a sister. If she's really as grand as they say, I doubt even I could resist her. If I want to stay sane, I have to remember the key. Keep reminding myself there's Garbo and there's me.
How strange a position to find yourself in. I'm sure it must seem bizarre. It sounds like you want to keep starring in movies, but not be a movie star.
You put your finger right on it as always.
Well, here's the solution that's dreamy. To me, it's astoundingly clear. Stay in Sweden with your loving me. You can keep making movies
Greta, there hasn't been anyone else for me. I don't think Niels would be hurt or even surprised if I leave him. I just needed someone to love in your absence.
I never minded. When little Lars was born, I felt like a proud papa.
We can take a house nearby and see Lars all the time. You could be an aunt or an uncle if you prefer.
It does sound wonderful.
If you leave Hollywood now, you'll always remain at the height of your career. You've yet to make that picture.
If I make movies in Sweden, nobody will see them. In Hollywood, I can create art for the whole world if I fight hard enough.
Don't you want to stay with me?
I do. But I have achieved something in Hollywood. I can get away with things on screen that no other woman can. The censors tie themselves into knots trying to figure out precisely what I am doing that offends them, and they can't. There are those that hate me for it, but it feeds me. I could never fully convey into letters everything that has happened in the past 7 years.
Then tell me now. Tell me everything.
Well, for one thing, anyone that thinks that Hollywood is the land of dreams has never spent a day working there.
Welcome to Hollywood, welcome to Hollywood, where life plays out in extremes. You won't believe how grand you'll feel in La La Land. It's time to follow your dreams.
My friends, we all know how important Sweden has been in the development of our own industry. I'd like to introduce the newest additions to our stable of imported talent. Please welcome Mr. Stiller, the world-renowned director. We're well aware of your fame. I hope you're here to stay, you and your protege. Kid will put you right in the frame.
Her name is Greta Garbo.
Let there be no mistake, we've got some films to make. That's why you've traveled so far. You'll give us 3 per year, and as for Miss Garbo here, tell her I'm gonna make her a star.
Be careful of this fast-talking fellow, my dear. I doubt that in his heart your best interests are clear. The words that leave his mouth are disturbingly slick. I'd hate to see you slumming in some second-rate flick. Remember, I've always cherished you for who you are. So do exactly as I say, and I will make you a star.
Welcome to Hollywood, welcome to Hollywood. One big long day at the spa.
You'll find your pot of gold.
You'll get your story sold
Here in the new Shangri-La.
Make sure that Mr. Stiller gets whatever he wants. You pamper them a bit, you get a better response. This famous man from Sweden brings us lots of intrigue. His girlfriend, I'm not sure if she's in quite the same league. She's got some looks, I guess. She's slim and tall, so take her down to wardrobe tests. Let's see if we can help her at all.
Right this way, Miss Garbo.
Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. Comes with a driver and car. You'll reach new heights and help. I think I'll go back to Sweden now.
I'm gonna make you a.
Make no mistake, you're a.
I'm gonna make you a star.
Louis B. Mayer's the ultimate player, and he's gonna make you a star.
Mr. Stiller. Sven Bergman. Mr. Mayor has appointed me to assist you.
I work alone.
I think you'll find that the studio system in America is a bit different from what you're accustomed to in Sweden. I'm here to help you navigate it.
I make movies the way that I make movies. Nothing is going to change that.
I understand how you feel, but you would do well to keep an open mind.
What have you done with Greta?
You mean that gawky kid who barely speaks English and looks like she's afraid of her own shadow?
Yes, that is who I mean.
Tess has taken her to wardrobe. Tell me the truth. Can she act?
Can she act? She's divine. You've never seen a talent so fine. She can be vulnerable or bold, sensual or cold, feminine and frail, or dominant and male. Yes, she can glow and she can see. You hardly will be able to breathe. There's no one on the screen she cannot outshine. So trust me on this, friend. She's divine. I found her in a hat shop, cliched as it may seem. A poor and struggling school kid, but acting was her dream. The fates put us together. I needed one more girl. I put her in my movie and watched her gifts unfurl. And she's divine. The world will soon be building a shrine. Who else can generate a thrill by merely standing still? I helped her find her way when she was just unmolded clay. And now each time with every role, I set about unlocking her soul, which means throughout our lives, our fates intertwine, with me behind her, guiding her. She'll always be divine. When America sees what she's capable of, this whole country will fall head over heels in love.
So, how did it go with Mort Stiller?
He seems to have his own ideas.
The man's a brilliant director. Give him whatever he needs.
He says he doesn't need an assistant.
Well, I say he does. Stay on him like mustard on corned beef.
But Mr. Mayor, he protested quite vigorously. He really doesn't want...
Whose studio is it?
Is yours, sir?
Right. Stay on him.
He's very attached to that girl. Have you seen her screen test yet?
Didn't do much for me. I don't see why he's so big on her, but maybe I'm missing something.
He's convinced she's a star in the making. And he seems to think he's the only one who can bring her out.
Wow. Nobody on this lot is indispensable. Nobody. If Stiller's right and she's the next Gish, he'll have to learn to share. And she'll have to learn how to act without Daddy spoon-feeding her. She has to prove herself, and so does he. And the best way for me to see what I paid for is to separate them.
Alma Rubens has been spending too much time offset with Ricardo Cortez. They say it's getting serious.
We can't have our stars falling in love in real life. If they split, there goes the film. Replace Rubens with Garbo in Cortez's next movie. Let's see what she can do.
And Mr. Stiller, sir?
We'll find something else for him. They've got to learn how to make movies without each other first. The American way. The Metro way, right?
Right.
Come, Miss Garbo, I know you understand what I'm asking. You hear the birds singing, and that inspires you to sing. La, 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 la. You have a glorious voice, and you want to be one of them. So, first you look over to the tree, then to the lamppost, and you're letting the music of the birds sway your body. Like this, as you start to sing. Like that. Yes? And action. Tree. Lamppost. And sing. Sing. And sway. Sway. Cut! I think everyone would benefit from a little break.
Thank God.
I cannot do this. If I knew I would have to make my first film without you, I would have never agreed to come here.
We are here now, and we shall make the best of it. It is a very good role for you. It will show you off.
But you do not mean I should play the scene as he says?
I don't think you should do anything that untalented tripe says.
But the break will be over soon. I shall have to do something.
Listen to me. You hear the birds. At first you are annoyed because they are interrupting your reverie. Then a sly smile crosses your face as you decide to compete with them. You know that your voice is much more beautiful than theirs and that you will win. You begin to sing and it is playful, competitive. But soon, sheer joy overtakes you, and for a brief moment, you are carried away by your oneness with God.
Right! Let's try this again! Miss Garbo, are you ready? Right. Everybody ready? Yes? And action! Tree. And lamppost. And start to sing. Let it sway. And cut! Ah! Miss Garbo, you have taken my direction perfectly. Moving on!
Hello to you all from Hollywood. It's Luella with your daily dose of dishing and gossip. Talk turns today to the Metro lot, where a movie called Torrent is being shot, and a lanky young woman from Stockholm's creating a heck of a buzz. An insider says a buzz which apparently isn't so pleasing to her leading man, Ricardo Cortez. So who's this intriguing unknown Swedish flame? My onset birdie tells me Greta Garbo's her name. Keep an eye on this addition to the MGM troupe. I'm Luella Parsons with the studio scoop.
Greta Garbo, the find of the year. The picture's not unusual, but this girl is. The murmurs of praise which heralded her appearance were too feeble by far.
The phones are ringing off the hook in the publicity department. Papers want photographs, interviews.
Well, set her up. Have them shoot her in all kinds of get-ups. Tennis whites, ball gowns, you know the drill. Who is this? Luella Parsons.
She has a newspaper column, but all she writes is gossip.
Who reads her?
Everyone, sir. Fans take her word as gospel.
Who wants to read about what actors do in private? Artists are never as interesting as their art.
Then again, we may as well take advantage.
Sure, why not? Give this Parsons woman what she wants. Is Miss Garbo waiting?
Yes.
Send her in. And stay here. I need you to help me understand her.
Happy to help if I can, sir, but no one really understands her except Stiller. Miss Garbo.
Miss Garbo, you've made a great success. Swedish girl plays Spanish vamp in American film, and the audiences go wild.
Thank you. But it is only because I'm important.
Well, yes, you are important.
I am only important from Sweden. Like sardines.
Imported. You are imported from Sweden.
I have a vacancy now, yes?
A vacancy?
I go to Sweden for a vacancy.
A vacation?
Yes, exactly.
No, my dear. You're under contract. You're only just getting started. It's time to move on to your next picture.
No, I think I'll go back to Sweden now.
But Miss Garbo...
What if I were to tell you that Mr. Stiller will be directing your next picture?
But Mr. Merrick...
The torrent has made you an overnight sensation. The phones in the publicity department are ringing off the hook. You're going to have a tremendous career. Did you hear that? Tremendous. There's a new word for you.
You promised that Mr. Stiller directs the next picture.
I promise. And I'll tell you what else. When you turn 21 next month, I'm giving you a raise. What do you say to $600 a week?
Maybe I stay a little longer.
It's Luella with the goods on Garbo's next film, The Temptress. Director Moritz Stiller tapped to reign supreme. The two of them are quite the Swedish A-list team. With Stiller directing his first U.S. feature, we'll have to stay tuned. Excitement may lurk. And meanwhile, the front office big shots are all sneaking onto the set to watch Garbo work. She's a touch enigmatic, aloof on the screen, but bursting with genius, as we all now have seen. It's no wonder that her first film's about to recoup. I'm Luella Parsons with the studio scoop. Excuse me. How about behind the table where you sit? Jesus, should be sorry.
Camera light coming on, please.
It's my first day ever on a movie set. I'm so excited I could burst.
Talk to me after you've been standing around doing nothing for 16 hours. You won't burst, you'll deflate.
I can't wait to meet Greta Garbo. I have this secret fantasy that we're gonna become the best of friends.
You have a better chance of bursting.
What do they want? Why do they all stare at me like they expect something?
Because they do. They're the lighting people, your camera crew.
I don't need them. I do all that.
A regular one-man band, are ya?
Where I come from, the director is all. I do not need assistance, as I told you on the first day of my arrival. You could send these extras away, too.
No!
The opening scene requires large numbers of extras.
I do not start at the beginning. I start at the end.
Why on earth would you shoot the film out of sequence?
If Miss Garbo understands where she must end up, her journey there will be completely different.
Mr. Mayor will be very angry if you don't film the opening scene with the party guests today. He will have to pay them anyway.
Send them away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it appears your services will not be needed on set today after all.
Move!
You will, of course, be compensated for your time. Please break quietly so that we can begin.
You don't need us.
Just shut up and take the paycheck.
Please, you may go.
Can we at least stay and watch?
No. Wait. Sit. All right. The scene in the cafe. You enter and see Robledo at the next table. At first, you decide not to approach him. Instead, you choose to transmit your emotions through your movements and glances. Let me see you. And action. You look like a frightened cat. This film is called The Temptress. That is you. Again. And action. no, give me more sex. You lumber like a cart horse.
Mr. Stiller, we're ready for you.
Well, I am not ready for you. Can't you see that I am busy?
If we don't start shooting, we'll be off schedule completely.
I am busy directing Miss Garbo. I do not worry about the schedule. You tell Mr. Mayor that the film will be made, and then he shall see what Miss Garbo is capable of. Now, crybaby, dry your tears and get back to work.
Mr. Mayor will be very upset.
This is not a Louis B. Mayer film. It is a Moritz Stiller film.
It's Luella, and Moritz Stiller just got sacked from the Temptress. Apparently the filming was way too slow, and he spent too much of Louis B. Mayer's dough. Fred Nevo's on board now, and word from the lot is he runs a tight ship. The numbers are black, and Stiller's career takes a nosedive. Does that mean he's through in this town, or can he bounce back? Still the buzz is for Garbo, that new Swedish vamp. They say that her drama may someday rival Chaplin's tramp. She sets box office records in a single fell swoop. I'm Luella Parsons.
She's Luella Parsons.
Let's meet Luella Parsons.
Did you read Luella Parsons? She says that the Temptress will outshine the Torrents.
Just think of the level of sales that will warrant.
She's somehow both innocent and overset.
It's true, so tell us, Luella, what does Garbo do next?
Do you really want to know?
Yes!
All right then. Next up, they're gonna pair her with the greatest screen heartthrob of all, John Gilbert. Just imagine the heat the two of them will generate.
We're weak on our feet, 'cause the men all want to see her.
The women want to be her. We'll grease flesh and the devil with a whoop.
You can count on me to keep you in the loop with the studio.
The studio.
I'm Luella, and that's the scoop.
This is how you meet directors.
You gate crash their parties?
Yep.
And you don't get caught?
Trust me, I do this all the time.
Psst. What if someone asks our names?
Just answer with confidence. They'll never risk admitting there's an actress they haven't heard of.
How can they tell we're actresses?
Everyone here's an actress. From us to Garbo.
Garbo's here.
Right over there. With that director who only lasted a day on the Temptress.
Practically every man here's a director. Oh, there's Mona Bell, who directed The Torrent, and Clarence Brown, who's directing Garbo, and John Gilbert in Flesh and the Devil. Not to mention our unsuspecting host, Victor Seastrom, and Lord knows who else. It's a gold mine.
But with three of us, don't we run a bigger risk of being discovered?
Nah, strength in numbers.
Besides, discovered is exactly what I want to be.
And there's only one way to do that. You have to go to the parties. You have to mingle and schmooze. You have to have lots of stupid conversations while drinking top shelf booze. You have to muster your courage. It's time to step up your game. 'Cause if you just hang back, you'll fade to black, and it won't get you any closer to fame.
I don't need any convincing. I'd like to be in the movies. That's more than background decor. I've always known I'm the perfect leading lady. It's what I'm destined for, so I am all for the parties. Just watch me giggle and flirt. If all the stars align and fortune's mine, tonight can be the night I hit pay dirt. Oh, come on, Edith, what do you say?
Well, nobody wants to be window dressing. I'd love to see my career progressing. But if this is such a sudden event,
us if you want or not. But don't you think it's worth a shot? You have to be a bit crazy to put yourself on the line.
I'll feel just a bit more self-assurance once I've had a glass of wine.
Now you are showing some spirit. Come on, there's nothing to fear. We're saying what the hell, you might as well. 'Cause sweetheart, you're already here. You have to go to the parties to get ahead in this town. So pay attention, you might pick up some tips as the traditions handed down. We'll sidle up to the big shots and let them see who we are. And maybe someday one or more of us will be the next movie star. The next movie star. The next movie star. You have to go to the parties.
Why is it so important I attend all these parties? Why should Mr. Mayor care what I do when I'm off his clock?
I don't understand it myself. You are here to work, not to make a spectacle of yourself.
Don't these Americans ever get tired?
They don't seem to operate with the same level of intensity as you and I.
People take too much energy from me. You and I are just two old geezers. The way we sit around in the evenings, huddled under the blankets, dreaming of Sweden. Do you know it is almost Christmas?
Yes, I know.
I want to go home so terribly. I want a spruce tree in Luftfisk. I want to go in and out of the shops, staggering under the weight of my parcels. It is cold here at night, but it is the wrong kind of cold. There is no promise of snow.
You convinced Mayor to sign you to 3 years instead of 5. He has never done that for anyone else, and I dare say he'll make that mistake again. But in return, he will not allow you to leave a second before it is ended.
Still, I love to imagine going home. Maybe I would even get married.
No, you must not ever marry, Greta. There can be no greater obstacle to your career than marriage. You must promise me that you will never marry. Not ever. Promise me that, Greta.
Of course, Moye. It is only a fantasy.
Good girl. You must stick to your spinach and your grains. You can't afford to lose your cheekbones, especially with your first day of shooting tomorrow.
I don't see the point in my getting dressed up, doing nothing but tempting men into pictures over and over. As soon as this one is over, I will insist that Mr. Mayor let me play a more modern woman.
Greta! Moye! Are you enjoying yourselves?
Ah, Victor, yes, this is a lovely party.
Excellent. I'm just passing through to check on the children. They've been exiled to the backyard.
Oh, I'll go. I will do anything to get out of this stifling house and run around the gardens. I despise parties like this one. Despise them!
I find her refreshing, you know. But others are not so charmed by her assertiveness. We should try to rein her in a little.
She is not good around crowds of people.
She'll have to learn. Parties are where the real business gets done in Hollywood. Come, let me introduce you to the head of Paramount.
Greta Garbo, bored by the company, preferred to run around barefoot like a hooligan with the Seastrom's children. Where were they, Tess? Hiding in the hedges.
I'm sure I don't know, Miss Garbo.
Miss Garbo, I'm Clarence Brown. I'm so honored to be working with you.
Thank you.
Have you met John Gilbert, who will be playing Leo?
We have not been introduced.
Good. We can use that to our advantage. Now, in this scene, you are exiting the train. As you open the door to your carriage, your bouquet falls from your hands, and Leo, Mr. Gilbert, rushes over and picks it up. He inhales its aroma and asks if he may keep a flower. You think about it, then decide yes. He helps you into the carriage. The carriage drives away. Do you understand?
Yes, all right.
Right over there. Here you go. John!
Where is she?
In the train. No. I've been told she prefers not to rehearse. So, for today, let's let her have her way and see what transpires.
You're the boss, Mr. Brown.
Everybody ready? Good. Quiet on set. And action. And cut! Woo! That was intoxicating. I feel I should apologize for intruding, for cutting the scene. Of course, it can't be helped. Ms. Garbo, I'd like to introduce Mr. Gilbert. Take 10 minutes while we set up the next shot. I think we're off to a grand start. Come on.
Please, call me John. And may I call you Greta?
No.
When I heard there was a possibility we might work together on this, I lobbied hard for the role.
I watched you on the set of The Scarlet Letter. You did not notice me, I think.
You sure made up for it just now.
I don't know what you mean.
I think perhaps you just fell a little in love with me.
You are very confident.
Are you telling me you didn't feel what I just felt?
I don't believe I'm telling you anything, Mr. Gilbert.
Not with words, perhaps.
That is called acting.
Nobody is that good. I freely confess, I'm not. I fell in love with you while the whole set was watching. The gaffers could see it, and so could the grips. When I fell neath the spell of your eyes and your lips. What a shock for a man when he suddenly flips, let alone in front of the crew. But that's how I fell in love with you.
I felt a spark, a flash that I thought was the lighting. A flame that ignited deep down in my gut, like a door to my soul that would never be shut. And it stayed even when the director yelled cut, which is how I finally knew that I was a fool in love with you.
How grand it feels to be playing a part Greta and John. Thus our lives will play themselves out off screen and on.
I hear you have a lover. Will I manage to recover? You know I wished for your happiness, Greta, since you were a teen. I just didn't expect to see it played out on a huge silver screen. You fell in love with him and the whole world was watching. I sit in the audience, one of the crowd, and to see you a movie star makes me so proud. But I still want to stand up and scream it out loud that you belong to me too. And I spent my whole life in love with you. I fell in love with him before the whole world was watching. Now it's shocking to see that everyone has a Garbo but me. When I fell in love with you, you were Greta, Gustav's and only.
Greta and John.
Never knew I could be
By
so
profession
lonely.
we had
Maybe
a heart
start
out.
almost
They
someday
continue
to
to play our parts out
to see you.
off screen and on.
I'm sure she's coming.
Well, since she's 15 minutes late, why don't you tell me all the things she won't? Does she really wear a 7AA shoe?
She really does.
And she buys her clothing in men's stores?
A glance at her wardrobe should confirm that.
I hear she sunbathes nude.
The Swedes have different standards of modesty.
Can you tip me off when she does?
There, I must draw the line.
Tell me about her relationship with Moritz Stiller. Are they lovers? Is he a Svengali? A father figure?
I'd have to say all of the above. Some in the studio refer to them as Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh. And is Stiller madly jealous of John Gilbert?
The other way around, actually. Off the record,
Off the record, I solemnly swear.
Gilbert got drunk one night and headed to Stiller's house with a loaded pistol. Stiller had to call the cops.
Ooh! Please?
Fine, blind item.
I owe you.
And here is the lovely Miss Garbo now.
I'm sorry, forgive me. I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Oh no, we've been having a lovely chat. It's an honor to finally meet you face to face. May I just say how much I truly admire your work on the screen.
You are very kind.
I know you don't grant interviews lightly, and I do so
I
appreciate.
don't know why you wish to speak to me. In my country, the papers want to know about the king and queen or criminals. I'm not any of these people.
Ah, but you are cinema royalty, and thus the public is deeply interested.
Sometimes I wish I were American. I find it so difficult to understand the customs here.
Do you like California?
I like the ocean. I love to swim.
What about sailing? I hear John Gilbert named his new boat the Temptress. Was that after you?
I couldn't say.
I hear also you're planning to elope.
Do Americans have so few love affairs that they want to know about other people's? Do you think if I have a romance, I'd tell everyone?
You are seen at many parties with Mr. Gilbert.
I would have much rather stay home.
Let's talk about your movie roles.
Oh, let's not. I am so tired of these vamps and harlots. The public must be too. I have tried to tell Mr. Mayor to let me play other
I
types of
think Miss Parsons wants to hear about you and not Mr. Mayor.
I must be free to say what I think.
Nevertheless, let's stick to the question, shall we?
What was the question?
How do you mesmerize us so? What is it exactly you do when you get in front of the camera that creates such a bewitching effect?
I just feel that I am the character. I don't know how I have these effects.
What about the incredible mystery surrounding Greta Garbo, the woman, the Swedish Sphinx, the enigma?
I have nothing to say about that. It is the people that create the mystery. For me, it is just privacy.
Miss Garbo, your beloved sister died during filming for The Temptress. I wonder...
Why wonder?
Well, I think I have everything I need.
I do not understand.
You have made 2 movies in the last 3 years. Neither has lived up to expectations.
I wasn't given a chance. I need time, I need money, I need Greta!
Goodbye, Mr. Stiller. I'm sure Svensk Filmindustri will be happy to have you back.
Well?
Mayor is done with me. I'm going back to Sweden.
Can't you get a contract with another studio?
The truth is, I don't belong here, but you... There are great things in store for you here, Greta.
You can't leave me. I need you.
No, you don't. You're not mine anymore. You belong to someone else now.
No, Moye, that thing with John, it isn't the same thing at all.
I don't mean John Gilbert. She can glow and she can seethe. At times I find I hardly can breathe. So maybe in the end she never was mine, but with me or without, she'll always be divine.
Mr. Mayor, I am exhausted. I can't make another picture right away.
I'm sorry to hear that, because you and Mr. Gilbert are set to begin filming tomorrow.
I have made 3 films in a row for Metro, and I am dead tired.
Miss Garbo, I've already given you an extra month off. I expect you to report for work tomorrow as requested.
I will report to work as soon as I start getting better roles. No more stupid seductresses. I want to play women who do more than lead men into temptation and abandon them there.
I suppose the public might follow you into more serious fare. We'll start developing roles like that for you. After you've signed a new contract for 5 years, not 3.
I will consider it for $5,000 a week.
That's absurd.
It's half of what John makes.
I'll give you half of that, $2,500.
$5,000 and better films.
Out of the question.
Just as you say.
Just a minute, Miss Garbo. Let me explain something to you. I have a piece of paper you signed in ink. You know what that means. I own you. I pay you to perform, not to speak or think. To smolder in your scenes, appear in magazines. In return, you've gotten fame and a lover or 2. And the public knows your name from here to Kalamazoo. So who's paying for your house, your car, your dresses too? None other than me, the man who owns you. So forgive me. I hope it isn't a shock to learn the evil that men do. And don't cry to the press, 'cause I own them too. I don't mean any rudeness or disrespect, but these are the facts. I own you. No point in being subtle or indirect. I'm known throughout the biz for telling it like it is, which is not to say that sometime if we had a fight, I wouldn't hear your point of view and concede you were right. At a time like that, I know it would be impolite for me to point out that I still own you. You can trust me to keep my manners in place and like a gentleman toe the line. Just don't cross me, my dear, and you will do just fine. So enjoy it. Take in the wonderful things that your success has brought for you. There's no reason to frown. I just hate seeing you down. But as much as it grieves me, it leaves me just one thing to say. What I've given you, Miss Garbo, I can always take away. Did I mention that I own you?
I think I go back to Sweden now.
You know what to do.
Miss Parsons, Sven Bergman here from Metro. Is your pencil ready?
Oh, I wish I could have seen the look on old LB's face when you walked out. You're the first person who has ever had the guts to stand up to him.
I honestly don't care if I never make another film. I just want to go home.
This is your home now. You're comfortable here. You found your friends.
I found your friends.
What's the difference? You have friends.
The people who are truly important to me are back in Sweden.
Well, then maybe you should go back.
I love you, John. But this is not my home. In my garden there's a small dead tree. When I'm at my loneliest, it comforts me. I imagine that it's bare because the cold has made it so, and that soon its branches will be covered with snow. When I close my eyes, I dream of snow, how it coats the sidewalks of Stockholm. My long forgotten sense of well-being is restored by thoughts of sleigh bells and skiing. My dream of snow begins. It's white and clear and crystallizes all I've been needing. I'm grounded to the earth and sure of what I'm worth. Sweden! And only Sweden with its snow can set me free. In my garden there's a small dead tree. I imagine it's a part of me. There it sits by itself, feeling empty and forlorn. But it dreams of a land where it gets to be reborn.
Is there nothing I can do to make you happy here?
You're the only thing about Hollywood that makes me happy.
Well, you sure have a funny way of showing it.
I love you, John. I would take you back to Sweden with me if I could.
I don't think you'd be any happier there. Not now that you've tasted fame and fortune. I know what you need to feel more settled here. Greta Garbo, will you marry me?
What? No, John, you don't want me.
I've never wanted anyone so much in my life.
We'd be terrible together. I can't cook.
Who cares? I'll learn.
John, stop. You'll spoil everything. Besides, I'm a bachelor at heart.
A woman can't be a bachelor.
I mean what I say.
In this country, you marry the person you love.
Or marry and divorce. Marry and divorce. What would I be? Wife number 3?
Where are you going?
Back to my garden. I do love you, John, but I can't marry you. I can't marry anyone.
Garbo is unmanageable and willful. She's difficult to work with, though her acting sure is skillful. Even Louis Mayer isn't quite sure what to do. The paper says it, so it must be true. Greta Garbo never showed on the lot last week. Ignoring her contract, she took a vacation, thus causing consternation for her patient metro bosses. There's lots of American actresses who'd love to have your breaks, so proceed with care, Miss Garbo, before you make any more stupid mistakes. Garbo has slipped a notch in our affection. We like to know the stars show up on time and take direction. The picture that's emerging is not the star we thought we knew. The paper says it, so it must be true.
Sorry to upset you, Miss Garbo. Just for a minute you seem to forget where your loyalties lie. We just felt you could use a reminder. When you come back, I promise we'll be kinder. But you can see there's not much to do once they decide what they read in the paper is true.
It must be true, it must be true, it must be true. Which means that Garbo never showed on the lot last week. Ignoring her contract, she took a vacation. Thus causing consternation for her acting bosses. There's lots of American actresses who'd love to have your breaks, and they ran out of space. Garbo has been the horse that we need and temperamental. But if she plays a diva, we may have to set her back. The king and the best of the studio. We've seen this proven true.
These are lies. I am not temperamental. I am exhausted.
You're also under contract. If you break it, your career will be over.
And you see, Mr. Mayor, I do not particularly mind that idea.
Wait! I am willing to develop more artistically challenging properties for you and even give you the higher salary you so brazenly demanded. I will announce to the papers that our differences have been resolved. But in return, you must sign a 5-year contract.
I must have approval of scripts and directors. Otherwise, 3.
If I agree to those terms, will you show up for work tomorrow?
Yes.
Just one more thing. I'm aware that your relationship with John Gilbert has progressed beyond the professional. We here at Metro discourage that sort of thing. Do you follow me?
No.
Let me be frank. You two are screen magic. If the papers decide to fabricate an off-screen romance for you, that's fine. It certainly adds to your mystique on screen. But I'm not going to risk losing that precious chemistry to a lover's spat.
Are you saying that you do not mind if the newspapers make up a romance between John and me? But you do mind if we actually have one?
I am ordering you to stop seeing John Gilbert.
Mr. Mayor, I do not think my personal life is any of your business.
Oh, Miss Garbo, that's where you're wrong. You have a misconception of what it means when I use the phrase, I own you. Of course it covers movies and scripts and scenes, but the deal I have with you extends to nighttime too. I can see you might dislike a restriction like this, that you want to have the freedom to choose who you kiss. But if I ignored your private life, I'd be remiss, and somebody else could claim he owned you, so forgive me. But when you add it all up, you see your deal is awfully good. Sure, go call me a cat, but I'm not really so bad. There's a lot I allow, but by now you should know what I mean. Please feel free to love John Gilbert, just make sure that it stays on the screen. Still own you.
How dare that man try and tell me who I can and cannot love?
Then defy him, Greta. We'll defy him together.
Yes. Yes, you're right. I love you. We're wonderful together. Screw Louis V. Mayer. We'll show him. I need you, John.
Oh, Greta, you've no idea how long I've been waiting for you to say those words. Greta, my darling, marry me. Think of how happy we would be. Now quick, before I drive off a cliff into the sea, marry me. Let's say I do and not look back. Mayor will have a heart attack. Then soon we'll have our own little Gretchen and Jack. So marry me.
Yes, John, of course I'll marry you. It's the perfect thing for us to do. What better way to show Ivy that no one owns you or me?
I'll swear my love to you while the whole world is watching.
Luella can shout it, I really don't care.
We'll prove that our love's not a passing affair, that together we make an unstoppable pair. In a church next Sunday at 2, yes, that's when I'll swear my love. my darling.
How intriguing this is getting.
Marry me.
We're gonna have a shotgun wedding.
Think of how happy.
What you think they'll spend in total?
We would be.
We wanna see a baby photo. Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. Just check your soul at the door. When Satan boards your boat, he'll help you stay afloat, but you've got to row him ashore. Welcome to Hollywood. 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 Welcome to Hollywood.
I'm gonna make you a star! I'm gonna make you a star!
It's Luella, and you'll never guess what I heard. Garbo and Gilbert are giving their love child up for adoption!
Stop! This isn't what I want. This isn't who I am. This is where I'm going, then my life, it's just a sham. This isn't how it ends. This isn't who I'll be. A person who gets trapped by trying to be free. So hold one moment, don't get too excited. No one says this project is green-lighted. I won't play by the rules unless they are my own. And going forward now, I want to be alone. I will never be, and I've never been, just a good girl playing a role. But if I marry John to prove I won't give in, then I'm still under Leah's control. And then I'll never be. I will not be pressured into quitting, but that doesn't mean I am submitting. This isn't what I want, this isn't who I'll be. They don't know who I am, but they're about to see. Never again will I put up with foolishness I did not choose. Never again these idiotic photo shoots and interviews. I have no use for anyone who tells me how to live my life. Look at how close I came to being stuck for good as someone's wife. I have to say I love you, John, but there's no way. I don't care about wealth or fame. We'll be playing a different game, which may come as a shock to natural Goldwyn Mayer. And I'll never be ruled by men, or be told how or where or when, or rely on someone besides myself ever again.
Stiller, the studio, that skunk mayor. And poor John, you literally left him standing at the altar. Why didn't you tell me any of this in your letters?
Embarrassment partly. Whenever I first put the words on paper, all I could see were my failings staring back at me in black and white.
I actually find myself feeling quite sorry for John. How could you leave him like that?
My real mistake was agreeing to marry him in the first place. I should have listened to my heart. If I hadn't have broken his, he may have been better able to handle what happened next.
What kind of sounds will the silent stars make when they are silent no more? Who will survive this and what will it take not to have it be rocky when filming a talkie? What will the test be like? Who will keep score? And what kind of sounds will the silent stars make
was first to burst on the scene. The public was thrilled when he spoke on screen, appearing in the Jazz Singer. Who could forget how he said,
Wait a minute, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Jolson gets our vote and we won't look back. Some will want to keep, others fade to black. Who's got the goods that it's going to take? What kind of sounds will the silent stars make?
Clara Bow, you may have to quit, girl. Relinquish your status as the it girl. The sound of your voice isn't quite what we need.
Someday, some man's gonna hurt you terribly if you don't learn something about the breed.
Not very pretty or very itchy. Some said her voice wasn't all that bad, but it paled when compared to what others had. Something compelling and something unique. That's the sound that we want when the silent stars speak. Like Joan Crawford.
Well, we're all nuts for Joan, she's the people's choice. Superb in the silence with that voice. A strange little flick which is titled Untamed. Featured a scene where she grandly proclaimed,
While I give you the right, Uncle Ben, to tell me what to wear, when to get up, when to go to bed, and what to eat, there's one right I haven't let go of, and that's the right to love who I darn please. And I love Andy.
Talk about glamour and star appeal. She spoke and she sang and she sealed the deal. We're thrilled by the world this new method unlocks. But what's it gonna sound like when Garbo talks?
The whole thing could come crashing down on us as soon as she opens her mouth. That accent isn't exactly American. Are they gonna buy it? Or is she gonna go the way of Clara Bow and Louise Brooks?
Hard to say, Mr. Mayor.
We've got to think of something, and soon. We can't keep putting our biggest star in silent after silent while the whole world is talking about the talkies.
I've been thinking, what if she plays a character who has an accent?
Keep talking.
Anna Christie, sir. It's a play by Eugene O'Neill. Anna has a Swedish father.
You don't say. She's actually Swedish?
Swedish-American.
Close enough?
And the play won a Pulitzer Prize.
Prestige. I like it. Sven?
Yes, Mr. Mayor?
I think this might be the best idea I've ever had.
It's Anna Christie, the film where we will first hear Garbo talk. Eugene O'Neill will get a transfer to the screen and make a mighty squawk. It could be quite a shock.
I heard through the grapevine her voice will be dubbed, which means it won't really be Garbo we're hearing. You're not up to date, pal. That plan has been scrubbed. Her voice and her face, they will both be appearing.
We're here at the preview, our ears open wide. Our pulses are pounding and we don't mean maybe. There she is now with her singular stride. What will her rank at the end of the day be? What will the first words that she's gonna say be?
Give me a whiskey. Ginger ale on the side. And don't be stingy, baby.
It's like mahogany or velvet.
It's like a vintage Cabernet. I wanna take it home and shelve it, a precious object for display.
It's both insidious and mellow,
With hints of chocolate and cream.
Like a viola or a cello, or something stolen from a dream. When Garbo talks, it's a curious paradox. Her fans can all rejoice. She's a blonde with a brunette voice, and no other star. It's quite that perfect note. How fully charmed we are by Garbo's golden throat. They caught us unawares, so we can stop
I love you. I love you. I love you.
While doors are opening for Garbo, for Gilbert they are swinging shut. It's an unpleasant rut.
I love you.
My sources are saying the studio brass are secretly pleased that John Gilbert has faltered. Some even suspect that they've had his voice altered. So it wouldn't sound right, which strikes me as downright
Ridiculous. As if Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer would deliberately sabotage one of its own films, no matter what personal dispute may exist between Mr. Gilbert and myself.
Personal dispute, sir?
Remember that non-wedding Gilbert and Garbo did not have, where the non-bride made a spectacular non-appearance? I made a comment to the non-groom about the perennial non-reliability of his intended, which he apparently found offensive, and the bastard took a swing at me.
You can't be serious.
I most certainly am. Knocked me to the ground, in fact. But that's irrelevant. Can I help it if the best directors no longer want to work with him? Or if his screen voice is just the tiniest bit nasal, as befits a contentious, alcoholic, violence-prone little prick?
Yes, I see what it has cost you to achieve success.
And that is why, as much as I would love nothing more than to stay here with you, I simply can't.
So you're going back to Hollywood?
I have spent the past 7 years dreaming of snow, and I have come back to the first winter in anyone's memory without it.
That's luck, just bad weather.
Sweden has changed. Everything has changed. With talking pictures, I can create greater art. My next film is Queen Christina, the kind of movie I've been begging for. It's the best script I've had yet, and it's our country, our national heroine. And I have convinced Mayer to give John one more chance. I had a screen test with some actor from England, some fellow named Olivier. But I just couldn't warm to him.
You're choosing John over me.
I'm not going back to him in life, just on screen. It's the least I could do. I broke his heart.
What about mine?
Yours. Don't say that. You have a family. You are strong, smart, busy acting and directing. Mark my words, you will run Dramaten someday.
It's so easy for you to pick up right where we left off and then leave again. But that's you, Greta. You always know where all the exits are.
This is not easy. This is awful. This is so hard for me that I must pretend that I'm going on vacation to the States. And when I return there, I will be every bit as miserable as I was when I first arrived. And I will torment myself, wondering if I made the right decision. But I must make some decision, and I will not throw away the past 7 years.
I understand, Miss Garbo.
Do you? No. I know you. You're putting on a brave face just as much as I am. If I could stay and live both lives at the same time, I would just do one thing and then the next. We must be apart for now, but I promise I will come back, and we will have a bachelor flat and champagne. In the meantime, when you see Queen Christina kissing her lady-in-waiting, just know that in my heart I'm really kissing you.
I knew it would never be easy with Greta, but it's always been only Greta for me. Perhaps there are ways that my life could have been better, but I'll continue to trust and wait here for her if I must. My heart always leaves when
glories unfurled, I must share with the rest of the world. I know that it's true, but that doesn't make it easy. Still, I know I will have a wonderful life with Greta. Maybe not this year or next year, but that's how it's destined to be. I don't want to be misunderstood. My life here in Stockholm is good, but it was always only Greta for me. Garbo and me, it's an unlikely pairing. I prefer Greta, and the time spent apart is worth bearing. Using reason or logic won't convince her that she ought to stay. She won't run to the things that she wants, 'cause she's too busy running away. So who knows who I'd be if I'd spend my whole life with Greta. I suppose in some other lifetime we'll see. And there's plenty to interest me here. My husband, my son, my career. So I'll patiently wait for Greta. There will always be time for Greta. It was always only Greta for me.
I know who you are.
Of course you do. Everyone does. Now please, leave me alone.
But you don't know who I am.
Nor do I care to.
Mercedes de Acosta. We have a mutual friend, Noel Coward. He speaks of you often.
Funny, he has never mentioned you to me.
I'm writing a play that he thinks is brilliant. There is no role for you at this time, but I could write you one. Have you ever thought of going on the stage?
Not since I left drama school in Sweden.
Probably wise. I don't think your particular brand of magnetism would play on stage.
You're right. Of course. But few would have the courage to say it to my face.
I could write a screenplay for you, though. Have you ever thought of playing Joan of Arc? You would be perfect.
I can't say it has ever crossed my mind.
You have a boyish, masculine side that nobody has yet exploited.
What do you mean by that?
If I'm right about you, and I believe I am, there are personal reasons why you would be drawn to such a character. It is why I'm drawn to you. No need to muddle every situation with ambiguity or doubt. Why cloak a sentiment with obfuscation? It's best to let the truth come out. To me it's always black and white. I have no time for shades of gray and all the games that people play. Those things just take away my appetite. I'd rather no distraction, postpone my satisfaction day or night. You know that's your best strategy. kind of facade I break through every week. I'm like a tornado, so hold on tight. I don't want some flimsy story, just pick your category, wrong or right. That's how it always works with me, and it's confirmed repeatedly. The world looks best in black and white. Every day I find more rules to mock. As far as I'm concerned, we don't even have to talk. There's great joy in turning conventions on their head, and in plowing through where others feed to tread. We could take some joint vacations. Let me call the travel bureau. Sorry dear, I've no more patience for shadows and chiaroscuro, black and white. What's in between ain't worth a dime. I'd say by now you've had plenty of time. So tell me if you want me to stay, or if you'd rather I just went away. Either way, I won't put up a fight, as long as it's in black and
Go away. Wait.
Why did you go out of your way to make me ridiculous? All that idiotic talk of love and beauty, it made my heart beat, made me dream like a fool and talk like one.
I thought you'd understand when you saw me again what had happened. That it had been so enchanting to be a woman. Not a queen, just a woman in a man's arms.
What do you want of me?
What do I want? What? I want back that room in the inn, the snow that fell, and the sweet hours, beloved one.
Christina.
John! John, stop!
Do you know what I want, Greta? All the things we had together. Our nights in my house, walks on the beach.
This is why I hate rehearsing.
Oh, it's always work with you. This is me, John.
Please, not now.
You loved me, remember? I drink more without you.
I don't see how that's possible.
Why are you so cold?
Cold? Is that what you think? I thought you understood me.
More than you understand yourself sometimes. You love nothing more than to snap your fingers and watch people dance. As soon as someone gets too close, you pull away. Don't you know what you're missing by shutting people out of your life?
How can you say these things to me? That isn't it at all! Everyone I have ever loved dies, and without me there to say goodbye. My father, my sister, Moye! When I heard of his death, I fell into a despair so black that I thought I would never recover. Don't you see, John? I couldn't bear to lose you two!
Lose me? You threw me away!
It doesn't matter! Now you have Ina Claire, comedian extraordinaire!
Ugh, I only married Ina because I couldn't have you!
No, John!
It was a mistake, and we both know it. We're planning to separate, and then you and I can be together again. We were happier together. You went to parties, you had friends. Now all you do is hang around with...
Darling! They said you were in your dressing room.
questionable people.
Lovely to see you too, Mr. Gilbert. Is that the bourbon I smell?
Will you excuse us, please?
Only if Greta...
Leave us, please, Mercedes.
I only happened by because I have...
Go!
I will do whatever my darling Greta wants, as always.
You know what they say about you two?
When have I ever cared what anyone said?
Be careful, Greta. Hollywood loves to destroy its own. It's a blood sport, and it's a very subtle process. You barely notice it's happening. Look what it's done to me. I know damn well you strong-armed Mayor into letting me on this film. Who's going to fight for you, Greta?
Miss Garbo, we're ready for you in wardrobe.
One bad picture and Mayor will decide you're no longer worth the trouble. Come back to me, Greta. We can take care of each other.
John, stop. On screen, you and I are free to be in love without the real world interfering. It is so much better that way. Don't you see?
Are you saying that Mayor was right to keep us apart? I thought this was going to be our new beginning.
If anything, it is an ending. But remember, nobody makes my heart race on the camera the way you do. And for that, John Gilbert, I will always love you.
The strands on your brush, the silk on your blouse, your jasmine shampoo, I'm memorizing you. That photo of us on the beach in Carmel, it haunts me through and through as I stand here inhaling your smell and memorizing the shade of your blush, the hem on your pants. What else can I do save memorizing you? That top right-hand drawer filled with trinkets and jewels, you turn men into fools who brood over why you withdrew as they sit memorizing in desperation, for who knows in the end what those memories are worth. Memorizing the combination that makes you the most captivating woman on earth. Will the bliss I once knew enduring, memorizing you. I've lost you forever, that much is clear. But in the years to come, I can always pretend you're still near by memorizing the curve of your wrist, the feel of your hair, the way that we kissed. It's more than any man can bear. But until I can think of something else to do, I'll just stand here miserably memorizing you.
Mr. Gilbert, they need you on set.
Mr. Mayor, you would really produce my Joan of Arc film for Greta.
Absolutely!
You will not be sorry. I, Mercedes de Acosta, give you my sworn guarantee.
I've got to tend to some matters on the lot. Sven will take care of the details.
Miss D'Acosta, before we can finalize our agreement, there is just one matter to discuss. You see, it's a funny thing. About the time Miss Garbo started talking in pictures, she stopped talking in real life.
Stop talking? There are times I can barely shut her up.
She was never much for granting interviews, but for several years now, she has flatly refused.
I thought the studio kept her from reporters.
That's what we want people to think. The less available she is, the more they speculate about her. They call her the Swedish Sphinx, and you know how much money the Egyptians make off that thing each year.
What exactly are you getting at, Mr. Bergman?
Mystery is powerful, but a few well-placed tidbits can fan the flames even more. The question has been where to glean those tidbits, and now the answer is revealed to us.
I do not rat out my friends.
But you see that it is in her best interest. We don't always know what's best for us. The more they write about her, the more money her films make, and of course, the more money the studio has to commission films that, on the face of it, are not destined for box office success. Historical films, religious, epics.
And if I refuse?
Oh, did I do that? Must have been an accident.
So nice to
Well
see
done,
you.
I will see you today.
George.
There you
Darlings, you made it!
It's been ages. Betty almost chickened out at the last minute, but here we are. I haven't been back to Hollywood since the stock market crashed. It all just feels a little unreal. It was always unreal. It only became obvious once we left. But look at you, Mrs. Victor Seastrom. Very glamorous.
If you hadn't dragged me along to Victor's party all those years ago, we wouldn't be standing here now. Young actresses still sneak in from time to time. I always let them.
Are you still acting?
Victor helped me get a studio contract. Mostly bit parts, but I find that's enough for me. Tell me about you.
Our lives are dull compared to yours. Domesticity, children, Des Moines for me, Sacramento for Betty. She teaches dancing classes, and I do some community theater.
Hey, are you still a big Garbo fan?
More than ever.
Well, let's get you both drinks and I'll introduce you.
Greta, darling, your Anna Karenina broke my heart. Oh, do you know George Cukor?
Of course. I'm looking forward to working with you on Camille.
I'm certain the pleasure will be all mine.
You are kind, but wrong. I am no pleasure to any director. May I present my good friend, Mr. Stokowski?
I'm a tremendous fan of you, Maestro. I heard your orchestra the last time I was in Philadelphia.
I have left them in the capable hands of Maestro Ormandy. I have plans to compose, conduct, and act here in Hollywood. Mr. Disney wants me to appear in a film with Mickey Mouse.
Stokey, you're such a joker. You know, I have a theory about you, my dear.
Everyone does. What might yours be?
I think you would be wonderful in a comedy.
A comedy? Now I must confess I have not had that one before.
She has a tremendous sense of humor. It is the best kept secret in Hollywood.
That's settled then. When we finish Camille, I will put you in a comedy. It's a natural progression. Garbo smolders, Garbo talks, Garbo laughs.
Garbo laughs and the world laughs with her.
As long as the world is not laughing at her.
Greta, I'd like you to meet... Get me a drink. Scotch and soda.
Oh no, Victor, Stocky, do something.
Greta! Greta!
Mr. Acosta! I'm always pleased when people feel compelled to ignore social conventions, like invitations.
Don't be silly, darling. That's how we met.
What are you doing here?
You're never at home when I ring. You won't return my calls.
Why would I? After you told that horrible Parsons woman every detail about our stay together at Silver Lake.
I did it for you. Otherwise, Mayor would never have agreed to make Joan of Arc.
Oh, yes, what a smashing success that film was. Oh, wait, it was never made.
Oh, he'll make it. He promised.
Go home, Mercedes. It no longer is what it never was.
But my spiritual advisor said we were married at least once in our prior lives.
Your spiritual advisor? Does she know you're a needy, self-obsessed, melancholic bore? Nothing interests you but money, sex, food, and sleep.
Me? That's a perfect description of you. But I love you anyway.
Oh, stop!
Nothing you could do will make me stop loving you.
Did someone ask for a scotch and soda?
Other engagements are calling me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being had. And
Edith! You're about to introduce me to your friends.
Oh, yes. This is Dorothy and Betty. Dorothy is the one who insisted we sneak into Victor's party all those years ago. And Betty is your biggest fan.
I'm sorry you had to witness such a sordid display.
No, it was, and then, oh, and you were just...
Yes, I suppose I was.
That's why you go to the parties, to see the stars as they are. At practically every swank occasion, someone goes a bit too far. Would not have wanted to miss that. You'll have to come back next year. And as the sun goes down on Tinseltown, I'm just so glad we were here. Glad we were here. You have to go to the parties.
The spirits tell me you have come because you are in pain.
Yes, yes.
And you are feeling this pain because of a person.
Yes, it's true.
This is a person to whom you have a strong romantic attachment.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's amazing how you can know these things about me.
The spirits know all. And this person about whom you feel so strongly, she sometimes sends you mixed signals.
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Tell me, please, what should I do? What can I do?
Patience, patience, my dear. All will become clear in good time. First, I must learn more. I must see more.
Well, I'm sure you remember, as I told you the last time I was here when...
You've been here before? Ah, yes, of course. When you were here before, we talked of many things indeed. But now, we must wipe the slate clean and you must give yourself over to the spirits. Do you hear the spirits speaking?
Yes, yes, I hear them.
And are you giving yourself over?
Yes, yes, I'm giving.
$15. Very good indeed. The spirits are quite pleased. And now tell the spirits what ails your soul.
Fear and loss, my Greta, forever. I thought that I was being so clever. I know I trifled with her affections, but now she looks for love in other directions. Ah, ah, ah.
The voice in her voice whispering in my ear, it says that the only way to hear the spirits and unlock your lover's heart is to read your astrological chart. When and where were you born?
March 1st, 1892 in New York. What does that tell you?
Nothing at all.
But why not?
Because I'm not an astrologer, but Spirit Angela is.
But I thought she was a spirit.
She is? She's a spirit who is also an astrologer.
Oh, Spirit Angela, will you please read my chart? It will cost you another $25.
Your nodes form a cross and an arc ecliptic. Your natal cusp is apocalyptic. The planet's transit suggests a mate, but you need the tarot to confirm your fate.
I didn't understand a single word of that.
It means that's as far as the stars can take you. For the next step, you'll need a tarot card reader. Spirit Agatha in hell.
You mean she's a spirit who also reads tarot?
You learn quickly this bodes well for your spiritual journey.
But it will cost you another $35.
You thread show dignified arcana.
With wands, you pick cards as a rule. And here, the devil and the tower. The wheel of fortune, oh how cruel.
Your final hand is a reversal.
The moon, the lovers, and the fool.
The spirits, the cards, and the stars all say the same thing.
They do. Then why was it necessary to pay for all three?
Triple confirmation has always been the basis of spiritual guidance.
Then what did they tell me?
To win her back, you have to pursue her. And prove your love has never been true. So talk her steps and give a good chance.
Spoils will go to she who wins the race.
Your time will be what sets you apart. To see the love that lies in your heart. Now go! Now fly! Find out where she's staying!
Pay heed to what the spirits have been saying.
Return when you are ready for more praying.
And more paying!
Greta!
I've seen you in every single film! Miss Garbo, I love you so much! Miss Garbo, can I have some of your hair? Miss Garbo, it's my birthday! Will you talk to Miss Garbo? It's my birthday! My wedding anniversary! I love you! I love every single film I've ever seen! You're so wonderful, Miss Garbo!
Miss Garbo! We've just learned that John Gilbert died this morning of a heart attack. My deepest condolences. Do you have a comment?
John,
Come, Miss Garbo, let's go. Drink some more brandy.
I don't want it.
You mustn't blame yourself.
I don't. Are you saying it's my fault he drank himself to death?
No, but I've come to learn how your mind works.
Thank you for seeing me home. You may go now.
I am not your servant, Miss Garbo. I am your friend. Please allow me that honor, especially now. You need a friend.
No, that is exactly what I do not need.
My dear, you cannot cure your pain by pushing people away.
If I don't get too close to anyone, there will be no heartbreak when they leave me.
Is that why you have no photos? No pictures?
That is because I never stayed too long in any one house. It is not worth the unpacking to have them around.
But people, Greta, people are different.
No, they're not. They're all the same. They all disappear in the end.
Greta, loving other people is both the joy and pain of life. You cannot have one without the other. As Tennyson said, 'tis better to have
Tennyson
loved
was
than
wrong.
lost.
What did he know? Did I ever love you the way a lover should? Goodness knows I tried, John. Forgive me, I wasn't very good. Well, now it's too late, so forget what came before. I'm not sure I know how to love anymore. Did you say you loved me? Perhaps, but who knows why? Lovers hold you close, but in the end, they only die. I'll shed no more tears, that is something I abhor. And I have no reason to love anymore.
Greta, you'll be fine. You've simply had a shock. You need to get some air. Let's take a little walk. I'll help you find your way. You'll say a private prayer. Allow yourself to grieve.
Mr. Stokowski, I think you'd better leave.
Greta, loving other people is both the joy and pain of life. We will all die eventually, but don't shut out your loved ones in the meantime. If you've learned anything, it's that denying John Gilbert all those years ago made no difference in the end. You're still mourning his loss.
I want lovers I do not have to love. Friends who make no demands. Alone when I want, and play when I can. And I will save my true passions for the camera. Only the camera will never fail me. Goodbye, Mr. Stokowski. Don't think too badly of me. Everyone has gone now. Perhaps I shouldn't fret. I'll suffer no or heartbreak, or be smothered with regret. And when I am gone, it will even up the score. And those that I leave behind will remember I tried to be kind, but that I simply couldn't love
Garbo Labs world premiere. Your Notchka's a success for Garbo. Look at that, she's right here. Would not have been my guess for Garbo.
Congratulations, Greta. Your biggest success yet. The reason you are so wonderful in this picture is that you have no idea how funny you are. I'm only sorry it was Ernst Lubitsch who got to show the world this side of you instead of me.
It's your fault for abandoning me for that other little picture. What was it called? I forget.
Gone with the wind. Fine, but next time around you're mine. And I'll go Lubitsch one better. Garbo dances.
No, absolutely not.
Watch out, George. When Miss Garbo says no, she generally means it.
Ina Claire, over here. You held her on a screen with Garbo. Gilbert's loves won't appear. We want a catchy scene with Garbo.
Miss Parsons, have you met the lovely and talented Ina Claire?
Miss Claire, I have long been a tremendous fan, and may I express my condolences on the untimely death of your husband.
Ex-husband, Miss Parsons. As I'm sure you're aware, John Gilbert and I divorced several years ago.
A sad end for a brilliant and tortured man.
If you say so.
Excuse me?
Far be it from me to write your copy for you, Miss Parsons. I'm sure you'll spin the death of my ex-husband and my relationship with Miss Garbo, however, will sell the most papers. For the record, Miss Garbo and I got on quite well, and John was rarely a topic of conversation.
A little birdie tells me that Mr. Lubitsch was forced to recut the film, so you wouldn't steal the picture right out from under Miss G.
Will you excuse me, please?
Well, I think I have everything I need.
A word in your ear. The Parsons bitch claims that Lubitsch edited the film to make me seem less funny and you more so.
If that's true, he had the right idea.
Miss Garbo! Oh, Miss Garbo!
Don't laugh this off. A rumor like that can only be coming from inside the studio. I'm afraid sentiment may be stirring against you.
That is nothing new.
You are outspoken and have done things other women would never dare try. I've always admired you for it. So did John. But some think that you are too high-handed, too assertive. They're tired of your demands. I'm fond of you, Greta, you know that. We have more in common than John, although I was the fool who married him. Just be careful.
Welcome to Hollywood. Welcome to Hollywood. You're having quite the career. Done what's required of you, but some are tired of you. So keep your enemies near.
You see, Mr. Q-Core, if we pull it in at the waist, then it droops on top.
This is what happens when the studio gives me clothes made for someone else. Why can't Adrian design my gowns like he always has? He understands I'm really a boy.
I'll see if there's a suitable alternative.
It is wartime, Miss G. We must all make allowances.
Is that why we're shooting without a script?
No, that is because the censors can't keep their sticky fingers out of it.
Everything about this feels wrong. And not just the story and the clothes. I don't even like the title. Two-faced woman, although I certainly do one of those.
What is it?
I cannot explain it. I feel embarrassed, even with nobody watching. It's been 2 years since Ninochka, and I'm too old. I'm 36. What if I cannot do it anymore?
That's nonsense. Of course you can.
Promise me the picture will be good. Promise me that I will be good. Promise me that I will still be beautiful without my cameramen, without my gowns, without my youth. Promise me the public will still adore me.
That I can promise you without a doubt. The public will always adore Greta Garbo.
Greta Garbage! She finally made a film that is lousy. Ninochka was cute, but it's gone too far. Her singing and dancing were just bizarre. The plot was too racy, the costumes were ugly, the script was a mess from too many cooks. The vampire is over, aesthetics are changing, and all she has left are her smoldering looks. With that cute Constance Bennett, Ruth Gordon to boot, I think it might be time to flush Miss G down the chute. She's more of a relic than poor Betty Boop. I'm Luella Parsons.
People don't want to see Garbo laughing and dancing and having fun. They want to see her gloomy, moping, dying. But they don't even want that anymore. Because the world is at war. And who wants to see anybody dying when they don't have to?
I've heard a rumor about a new girl who interviewed at Warner's. Ingrid Bergman is her name?
Swedish, eh? She could be the next Garbo.
And the real Garbo?
When the public speaks, we gotta listen. Schedule a meeting for me with that Bergman girl. I think I'd like to own her.
Well, Miss Garbo, now you've finally done it. A film so bad the public's forced to shun it. No, you're not the first, and you won't be the last. Others have come back, but others are not Garbo. You never cared what anybody thought when you were young and free. But I am prepared to grow ravaged and own and let the whole world see. I have to say, I thought this through, and there's no way! The public is finished with you, Garbo! I am finished with you.
Finally, it's time to come home to me.
It's too late for that mimosa.
How could it be too late? I've been waiting and waiting. When was the right time? Did I miss it?
Perhaps there was never a right time.
For 20 years you've been writing to me, saying the only thing you want in the world was to come back to Stockholm and be with me.
I can't hide there. I will be forever under a microscope. My life has been nothing but back doors and side alleys. I have to go somewhere where I can disappear entirely. Where the people are so consumed by their own lives that nothing else catches their attention. I will go to New York.
Then we'll go to New York.
They would never leave me alone. Not even in New York.
They're still not going to leave you alone. The public will never abandon Garbo. Greta, you...
Don't you understand? I haven't been Greta in a long time. And I don't want to be Garbo anymore.
Then become someone else. You're an actress. Reinvent yourself. Just take me with you.
Always so clever. My sweet little mimosa. That is exactly what Garbo will do. But she has to be alone. She has to start fresh. With no attachments. Completely, entirely alone. Garbo and me, we're both saying goodbye now. And believe me, I know hard, dearest friend, but I need you to try now. I'll still write every week, and as for the rest, we shall see. But for now, ciao, my dearest, from Garbo and from me. And now, having been liberated from playing the role of screen legend Greta Garbo, Greta Gustafsson moves on to her finest and most enduring role yet. Manhattan woman of leisure and ordinary citizen. Harriet Brown. I like the way it sounds. Harriet Brown. I bet she doesn't let anyone push her around. Harriet Brown is her name, and she's sometimes a bore, but she never gets mobbed when she runs to the store. She looks through the produce to see what's marked down. Harriet Brown. Harriet Brown leads a life that is largely serene. She loves to see movies but doesn't appear on screen. Her daily life gives her no reason to frown. Harriet Brown. Harriet likes to take long walks with a nap in between. She loves shopping for cardigans and shoes. An auction of modern art merits a trip downtown. Saddens me. She was truly divine. I'll tend to her blame, preserve her good name, but from now on my life will only be mine. It will be nice to go out with whomever I choose and not have the date create national news. That's only partly why I'm bequeathing my crown to Harriet Brown. Harriet sees the glass half full to a point. She's known for her unconventional views, and her friends just love it when she plays the clown. If the world keeps taking pieces of me, then I'll no longer be whole. I'm happy to be invisible if I get to preserve myself. And Harriet Brown will live out her days free from irrational fears. It's a role I'll happily play for the next 4 days.
on the street, it's a thrill when you catch a glimpse of Garbo. Sutton Place, Murray Hill, a momentary glimpse of Garbo.
Well, she may have aged a bit, but those eyes are still the same. So to throw the public off, she likes to use a different name.
You know where that is?
Yes, ma'am. Sutton Place. I just need your name.
Harriet Brown.
Just sign here, please, Miss Brown. We'll have your delivery to you by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Thank you. Do you know who that was?
Sure I do. That was Miss Harriet Brown of Sutton Place.
That was Greta Garbo.
He doesn't even recognize her name. These kids, she was a screen goddess, my boy. Maybe the greatest ever.
Nah, you're pulling my leg. That lady was no movie star.
Oh, but she was. She had fame, beauty, wealth, glamour, everything a woman could want. And she gave it all up. Just walked away.
Think of all the movies she never made. What a shame.
I don't believe you. Miss Brown! Miss Brown!
What is it, young man? Have I forgotten something?
Those folks back there said that you were once a famous movie star and that you gave it all up. Is it true?
You seem like a trustworthy young man, are you?
My boss thinks so.
Then I'll level with you. It is true. I was once a famous film actress.
Wow, you sure don't look it.
No, I don't, do I? Not anymore.
Don't you miss Hollywood?
If I missed it, I would go back. But I like New York, don't you?
Sure, I guess so. Of course, I've never been anywhere else.
Well, I have, and let me tell you, New York is a wonderful place. Now be good, young man, and stay out of trouble.
Sure I will, Miss Brown.
Well, what was she like?
She was just a nice lady like anyone else.
But what did she say?
Sorry, that's between us. I figure everyone's entitled to some privacy.